There is no coincidence, Georgia, that you see your clients winning overalls over and over and over and over every season since you've become a coach in all these federations. So, on that note, I think you were going to, we've just reconvened, we had a little snack break, going to talk about what other things you do to help out with the whole political side with federations and managing, I guess, the client, coach, middleman, you federation relationship.
Yeah, the other thing I actually wanted to add to that was every federation will have their own criteria or their definition of, say, a bikini athlete. One federation's definition and criteria it can be very different to the other. So very important to, again, educate the client and give them more of a context and understanding so then they can actually sort of see where they might fit better, because sometimes some posing requirements in some federations might not be very complementary for that particular client and their physique, whereas another federation might offer certain posing requirements that can be a little bit more in alignment with what
Yes.
that might have to offer. So I think that's really important. And yeah, again, I have found certain first timers, if they're not very well educated between federations that they're kind of juggling between, it's usually, as a first timer, you might look at doing, say, two federations. And I have definitely come across clients that might misinterpret the meaning of a bikini athlete, because you've got three federations in particular. Let's look at ICN, NBA, and IFBB. There is a category or a division called bikini, Ms. Bikini.
Yeah.
Vastly different. And it's funny how many times I've actually had a client look at doing bikini in this one federation and then they go, oh, but I'm also going to do bikini in IFBB. So say bikini and IFBB, significantly different in terms of the criteria, what they're looking for, the shape, the conditioning, muscularity, all that jazz. So, it's easy for people to look at, oh, bikini in this federation, I'm going to do it in this federation. It's really important. And I definitely feel like it's part of my role as a posing coach to be in the know for what this one means compared to the other. So then again, they have more of an understanding and they can see where they better fit. Another thing I actually want to add is something that happens a lot is with social media, there's a lot of information, a lot of education out there, which can be great, but equally detrimental and very confusing for people who are preparing for a show, because they might look at some, how-to videos for like a bikini athlete, bikini front pose or whatever, but there's not context or a specificity around this is actually geared towards this particular federation because this is what we're looking at. This is not relevant for the other federation that you're working on. So there can be a lot of misinformation, or people can take certain content and really absorb it into their own learnings without having that deeper sort of awareness of, hey, actually, this is not applicable to your federation. So I've had to deal with that a lot, as well as, there are some federations that are very well known in the industry, even if you're not an athlete. Those things can be quite confusing. So it's really important to be able to align yourself with a posing coach that is relevant and up to date with everything and has an understanding of what the federations are, what they're looking for, and being able to kind of pinpoint where you might fit in the mix, because there's a lot.
And literally a posing coach, I honestly think a posing coach is as valuable as your actual training coach. Because if you think about it, if you're stepping on stage, the amount of times I've even had clients who have almost tried to like save money and they've tried to, I'll do my own posing or I'll just go to the workshops, and like that's the last thing they should have been doing. And not, again, not to talk badly about people because I try not to do that. But I've strongly said to them, hey, I really recommend you need a posing coach. And to get a posing coach who can bring out the best in your physique, there is no coincidence, Georgia, that you see your clients winning overalls over and over and over and over every season since you've become a coach in all these federations, including yourself. You just dipped your toe into FMG and just came out with a fucking place, top three, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I got third, but in that
I forgot the previous name because
that's
it's
a separate,
so used to FMG now.
it is a very separate federation
Now
with the
it's been
owners.
reconvened or whatever. So, but like now they've done their whole new thing, and I love the way that they operate. I really do. I would never be able to do, I don't know, I don't think I could do FMG myself because it feels like it looks like contortioning yourself on stage. And it's a lot of feathers and a lot of glitter and sparkles. And I'm flat out putting makeup on, let alone
Yeah.
I'm putting platform
That's
heels
the
on.
most done up you'll ever see me. Honestly, I am not that
You
much of a
looked
girly girl.
phenomenal,
And
by the way. This is if you want to
thank you.
stalk Georgia, go back through, and she was just, you were sexy, but not too sexy. It wasn't like, oh God, please stop. It was beautiful. Your presence, just incredible. And did I see you come up with what looked like a signature posing move? Because I've only seen you do it and some, maybe one other, and it was your client. The cross arms, and it's done so well.
Was it like the
Yeah,
the?
it was, it gives me
Thank
shivers
you.
watching that because I'm like, you look like a superhero, like on stage.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
I
Yeah.
envision, like that looks like Wonder Woman or something like
I
that.
like to chat. I do channel. Yeah. My dad always used to tell me kind of like what did he say? Like an
Oh
Amazonian, just a
yeah,
very strong,
so powerful.
woman. And it's something I really, yeah, pride myself on is showing up like that on stage. It's just that sense of, pride and accomplishment and just really being confident and proud to show myself off as I
You
am
you
kind of
didn't
thing.
look like you were forcing it. It looked like you had been doing this your entire life, and it looked like you were just rocking up to show everyone how badass you are. But in a way that didn't come across as like I've watched many FMG shows. I've been at quite a few as well. So as much as what people don't think I prep people into them, I do. I just have a really high standard. So as well as IFBB, FMG, I find that those federations, they're a step up, they're very competitive. I will only prep a competitor into those federations if I believe that they're going to do well. And
Yes.
it sounds bad because then obviously I had like two people do FMG. I've had one do IFBB. I've got another one going to try and dabble a bit more in IFBB this next year, because we've got the natty side of things coming through.
Yeah.
2 years natty, they reckon. So we'll see how that goes. But I just wanted to, yeah, going off on a bit of a tangent, I wanted to focus on the fact that a posing coach like Georgia, if anyone is listening, you are you are golden. You are the difference between someone getting a fifth and a first, right? Like, and I'm not lying. Someone could come to me and I can make them have, not even make them, I can design the program, I can support them morally, which we do a lot heavily, both you and I. I can have the meal plan, I can have all the macros, we can, cross the T's, dot the I's, have this incredible physique in front of us, and then not posing that properly is literally
Yeah.
as useful as throwing a potato on stage. Like it just doesn't
Exactly.
has no use. It is doing the person a disservice. So if you really, and this is not plugging you because George is not paying me anything for this. She pays me in love. Um,
Wait, we're getting paid?
yeah.
What?
Oh, we get paid for
Oh,
this.
damn.
I know. Creation is for free.
Yes.
If you're wondering if you're on the fence about getting a posing coach, if you want to do well, I cannot stress this enough. I'm getting very passionate. If you want to do well, get a goddamn posing coach and someone like Georgia. Oh, Georgia, there's only one of you. I wish there was more of you.
That would be a lot.
Not Georgia. Just Georgia herself, get on the 50-person wait list. So anyway, on that note, gonna finish up this section of the podcast because I really think that I wanted to move into a little bit more personal stuff, just because it's in the name, personalized posing. And yeah, we've talked a lot about online, like back and forth. I will never, obviously, you know me, I'm a closed book when it comes to when people tell me things, doesn't leave me. That's the one thing. If anyone ever wants to inbox me and talk to me about whatever, uh, as you said, I'm industry mama. I tend to just let people do their thing and have a talk. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about something that I know that you publicly talk about. And I'm not going to say suffer with ADHD because I actually don't think it's suffering. I personally have, well, an ADHD diagnosis, but I'm not medicated. And my whole family is riddled with it. So for us,
Yay.
years ago, I grew up in an era where we didn't really know enough about this, especially in women. We present differently, and so there are lots of boys getting diagnosed when we were younger, but not a lot of girls were getting diagnosed. So now we're seeing an influx of women being diagnosed later on in life, which we've had to
Yeah.
navigate life somehow with all of this crap in our heads. Question. There is a question coming from this, I promise. So, how do you go with, and this is something that I personally struggle with in business, burnout in business. Like, how have you been going with that? Because I did know that for a little while there you were going like, man, I'm feeling a bit burnt out. I need a holiday. How are you feeling now? You've come back from Bali, and how are you navigating that from here on in? Do you find that it's just an ongoing battle, or?
Um, Yeah, so I think that a beautiful aspect of having ADHD is feels like my personality is amplified, and
Yeah.
that includes thoughts and feelings, hence
Mm.
why I always mention being a deep feeler and a deep thinker. And I think that those I've learned over time, they were qualities in me that I felt not very good about. And now I, having done a lot of work with myself over the years prior to my diagnosis and being medicated, that I feel that they are the most special qualities about me, and definitely show up in my work. Um, with the burnout, so that being said, there can be a tendency to put a lot of energy and focus into things that I'm very passionate about. And
Mm.
oftentimes, because I have so much love and so much passion for what I do, as a posing coach and a coach in general, there is a heavy responsibility that we have to, show up for these clients, for these other humans, and to hold space for them, and to um, yeah, you're an integral part of their journey. It's their
Yeah.
personal development journey that you don't take lightly, but
Mm.
also their
So important
journey
to you.
to,
Hey.
to
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
And so that can weigh quite heavily on me, being someone that is just very, very passionate and wanting to show up and support these women is very, very important. And yeah, it's such an honor and I don't take it lightly. So the burnout can come from just putting so much energy into other people and not giving back to myself,
Yes.
and or forgetting to, and then by the time you need to, there's nothing left.
Mm.
So ever since I started my business, it's just, yeah, I've been very fortunate. It just went from zero
Exploded.
to 100
Yeah.
instantly. And it's not something that I ever expected would ever happen. I never thought anything like this would happen to me, that I'd have a business. So it's been quite a juggling act, being an athlete competitor myself, as well as now being a business owner, and having all of this responsibility is amazing and exciting and also very overwhelming. It can
Mm.
be a very, very big stretch, because I found that everything that I was experiencing from the moment my business just started out of nowhere, everything has been a new experience. And I'm sure you can understand that it's like when you learn to ride a bike, or you learn a new language or an instrument or something that requires a lot of sort of mental uh, commitment, your
Mm.
brain, to try and understand these new things, and sort of um, it can be quite exhausting. So I
Daunting.
have
Yeah.
found that the burnout comes from always trying to play catch up with having this new experience, because it's like I'm going to go through, for example, having my recent prep experience this year.
Mm.
Um, that was a new experience as a business owner, and also
Mm.
juggling a prep as an athlete. It's hard enough to be in the prep itself, but to then look after other people on top of that
Yeah.
and find that balance was quite overwhelming. It was very stressful and rewarding at the same time, and having to strengthen my boundaries,
Mm.
put myself first, strengthen my routines, and
Mm.
things like that. It's still something that I'm working on,
Mm.
um, and yeah, it can be really, really hard, but also I'm very grateful, and I always remind myself to stay in the joy. There's not
Yeah.
a lot of people get to experience this in life, and so it's a privilege, and it's also a choice that I'm making to continue to do this. And just taking every new experience, it can be really overwhelming. I remember the business when it started and everything that kind of unfolded as if it happened yesterday. So it does often feel like, even now as I'm speaking, I'm always trying to play catch up on, oh my gosh, this is my life. This is so incredible. It's, not just changing other people's lives, but it's also changed my life
Yes.
significantly. I don't know what life was like before I became a posing coach, and you've you've been able to see me at the beginning of my sort of bodybuilding journey all
Mm,
those years ago, and navigating, difficult experiences, like having a not great prep, and kind of what that taught me about myself. So you've seen me go through all of these sort of
yeah.
phases and these peaks and valleys, and a lot of people can see, and yourself included, how deeply this um, business and how much this has impacted me and how it's changed me and evolved me
Yeah.
as a person. I'm a better person. I'm a better
Mm,
friend. I'm a better human. I'm a better coach. I'm a better athlete,
mm,
um, because of these women. So they help me just as much as I help them.
yeah.
Um, so, burnout, and then it comes with it. But yeah, like it's always just an ongoing journey. It's never ending. And I say that to my clients as well. No matter how much work you put into the prep and the posing, you're still going to get to stage and you're not going to be perfect. And that's actually okay. I want you to know that, hey, you're actually not going to be perfect. You're actually not going to have it all together.
Mm,
Something could happen on stage that just, you have a blip in your brain, suddenly forget
Rosie.
your posing routine. And yeah, so it's about actually teaching them to rely on themselves and to trust themselves, to go with it, and to let go of attaching their good enoughness to whether they are chosen or they win or they don't win. So it is very much about building resilience and self-trust. And um, that's something that I share with people, and also I remind myself, is that it's okay to not get it right all of the time, and it's
Yeah.
okay to not have your shit together all of the time. It's part of being human, and to just be more gentle and kind with yourself. um, yeah.
Nice. I like that. It's a good response. It's almost like you acknowledge it's there, but you know that there are really good parts of what you do as well. Yeah. I think certainly
Yeah.
it's in this industry, it's about finding, we talk about like finding balance with, like a work life balance. When you own your own business, there's a lot of blurred lines. It's like 8 o'clock at night and you're somehow replying to client messages and you're like, damn it, I'm doing it again. Like,
Yeah.
really poor limitations and it's not because um it's not because you don't think you're important. You do, like, you're important, you need to look after yourself, but it comes down to, as you said, our clients are our entire world and we kind of obsess over them in a way, and it's a good thing, like, but yeah, it can be our demise as well, like, and I think it's important to share with people we are human. We may on the
Yeah.
outside look as if, like we are, and we have to be very strong, very independent. We have to be leaders in this industry as well because clients are looking to us for guidance. They want knowledge. That's why we have to have that almost that alpha female type of approach to everything we do. But it's important to reflect the vulnerability and to say, look, I get sick, I get run down, I get injured because I think if we constantly show people a picturesque version of ourselves, they do the comparison thing. And they can often be like, Georgia's got everything. She's got everything going for her. And if they don't see you going, hey, look, I would love to book you in for a posing session at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, but I actually wouldn't love to do that. I would love to
I'm
sleep
fucked. Yeah.
and have some food that I enjoy in the sun and really it teaches them as well that they can have healthy boundaries too. Because I find if we don't have healthy boundaries, clients kind of mirror us. And I find
Yes.
if I put healthy boundaries in place, it's a constant, you've got to constantly revisit it as well. As I said, sometimes I'm replying to clients at 8 o'clock at night and I'm like, shit, no, Mariah, no. 7 a.m. in the morning, 9 a.m. in the morning, yes. Not 8 o'clock at night, no, go to bed. You need to be present in the family life and then present in coaching life. And it is hard. The lines get so blurred because we don't get to decide, or we do get to decide our hours, but we don't have an employer. So it's not like we have someone being like, hey, can you just rock up and do this at this time? And we don't get to clock off. We have to choose to clock off. So uh,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's a hard balance, but I really do like the positive spin that you put on it because you're right. I get to wake up in my pajamas every day and make a coffee and reply to my clients, and not many people get to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Actually, it's a really good thing that you brought up just before about setting those boundaries for yourself, because you're also mirroring that to them as well. Because
Yeah.
I definitely preach to them about choosing yourself, and there's going to be some sacrifices in a prep where there's temporary
Yes.
scenarios where you need to say no to something,
Yeah.
or to be okay to take up space, to change your mind. And so
Mm.
I actually had to navigate that when I was in prep myself. And in a way, actually, this is such an interesting topic to bring up, because I'm
Mm.
sure that this is something you've experienced.
Mm.
But while I was in prep and juggling my business at the same time, I was getting so burnt out that I was getting sick.
Mm.
And what had happened is that I had to make a very bold, scary choice
Mm.
to uh, reach out to my clients and move the season B gals just back by like a month, to be able to focus on the girls that are going to be competing for season A, as
Yeah.
well as myself, to make room.
Mm-hmm.
And when I expressed that in our little sort of community space, I was very heartbroken about it, because I felt like I was letting people down. I was inconvenienced. I was obviously afraid that I would lose clients, or that it would come across the wrong way. But I was very, very lucky to be embraced by, I would say, 98% of the women who completely understood my decision,
Mm.
because it was a way for me. It wasn't because I didn't care about them. It was because I care about them, and wanting to ensure that I am providing them a valuable, personalized experience that means that I needed to actually put myself first, and actually recover and give
Yeah.
back to myself, so that I can give back to them tenfold. It's like
Yeah.
filling your own cup up first in order to give that overflow to everyone else. What use are you without, you know, all of the things that energize you? It's like the analogy about the plane with
Mm.
the
Put the
giving the
mask on
oxygen
yourself.
mask to your loved one, to your child. It's obviously your instinct is to give to everyone else, but then without you being well enough, there's nothing to give to anyone. So I say that to a lot of the mothers that I work with, because they deal with a lot of guilt being in prep
Hi.
and putting themselves first, and just this guilt about not making enough time for my partner and my kids, and then helping them to kind of reframe what
Mm.
it means to put themselves first in a way to be able to give the best of themselves, and to role model
Yeah.
back to their partner and their kids what it means to look after yourself, because then that's what they're going to be learning as they grow up. It's not that they're not important, but
Mm.
it's that you're showing them that you are important, and therefore they will learn to value themselves in the same way. So it was a hard thing for me to do, but when I reframed that, I had to just trust that I know my intentions are good, that this is coming from a good place, and it is because I care about my business and my clients that I needed to do that. And it was received quite well. I
Mm.
had experienced a little bit of judgment from a coach that kind of, I noticed that they tried to sort of project their own perspective onto me about, oh, you wouldn't be able to do this prep and afford to do this if it wasn't for your clients, and that, or if it were me, I'd be putting them first, da da da, and putting that second. And I
Mm.
said, well, here's where we are different, because I am choosing not to, in this moment in time, make it my entire life. And actually, as a matter of fact, where there's a will, there's a way. I actually can do this prep
Mm.
without my clients, without the income from them, because I had another job and I make sacrifices to be able to make things work. So I was quite frustrated to feel like the choices that I had made were being judged,
Mm.
or that it had made me feel like I was making the wrong choice. So
Mm.
you would feel that as a mum as well. You make choices with the best intention for your child, or even as a coach, and you feel this constant judgment from other people because they would have done things differently.
God, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't as a mother. So I just figure I may as well do
Yeah,
everything I want to do and then just fuck everybody else. Um,
exactly. Exactly.
yeah, I think a lot of what I really stand for is in society trying to break that mold that we have around mothers. And I won't talk too much about it because this podcast isn't about me or motherhood. But I tell you what, you're right. You're on the money there. People project their bullshit onto you all the time of what they wouldn't do, and it really, in the big scheme of things, it's irrelevant, isn't it? Because it's your life. It's how you want to live it, and I'm really glad you've made those decisions in your business to put your foot down, and people respect you more. Honestly, people have so much more respect for you when you have limitations on what you will and won't do, what you will and won't put up with as well. I've been recently trying to do that more with people. If I don't click with them, I literally will tell them, I'm sorry, this isn't working, you know. And it's okay. Like it's a really mature thing to do. So anyway, we're gonna finish up soon. We've got about 5 minutes to go, Georgia. How the fuck did we do that?
We could honestly go on and on and on. It only feels like we're halfway, to be honest.
I know, to be fair, it feels like we've been doing this for 15 minutes or so. So
Yeah.
yeah, look, I wanted to finish up with where can we find you? Where can we find you? I have Georgia. Anyone who signed up with me, I now have Georgia in my PDF welcome ebook for Comprep coaching because I'm an over deliverer. I have the exact contact details for Georgia as an in-person coach and obviously online as well. You offer that service, but I've only got you and one other coach, a posing coach in there. And the only reason why I've got another one in there is because I want someone who has an online presence and does offers just online. Um, so, you know, if it was a decision, I would always refer people to you. But obviously, some people like in person. You're really good in person. You're obviously getting, the online stuff going too. Where can we find you? Tell me where we can find you.
Well, firstly, I believe in actually you having recommendations for other posing coaches as well, because just like prep coach, there's no one size fits all. So that's so fine by me.
Yeah,
I'm
Georgia's
I'm
been
not just going to be a perfect match for everyone,
yeah,
100%. And that goes for everyone,
yeah,
coaches and everything. There's not a one size fits all. And I understand if I'm, not going to vibe with you, and that's so fine.
yeah.
So yeah, you can contact me mainly on Instagram, personalized posing. Through Instagram, I keep updating my website and all those things, but it's better to just find me through Instagram. That is typically how people do it these days.
Yep.
And if you're not sure, they
Facebook?
can ask you.
Yeah, that's right.
Facebook is the same, but yeah, Instagram has actually just been the mode of communication for a lot of people. The
Yeah.
link in the bio to be able to book me, the accessible links
Hmm.
on my Instagram social media pages is the best way to be able to find me. You could even just type in personalized posing on Google and it should show up as well. But yeah, if you're not sure, you can just have a look at Mariah's ebook.
You can. It's got clickable links and everything. Yeah.
That's so cute. Look at
I'm a
you.
sucker for detail. But as we know, it can also be a problem sometimes. We go down a rabbit hole and give everyone all the information. All right. Well, we're going to finish up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on today, Georgia. I really appreciate it. We are going to run out of time, so I'll talk to you on WhatsApp after this.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
Absolute pleasure. And yeah, as I said, look, get into to Georgia's inbox. Sorry if you get an influx of messages after this. But even in the new year as well, get in fast because as she said, 50 people. Holy shit. I honestly I couldn't. I'm sorry. I'd
No, I
quit
definitely recommend.
coaching. I can't do
Yeah.
it.
No, that's not to say that they've all signed up. It was just more to be able to be in the know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
right.
no, I definitely have spots available. You'll be able to see my
Good.
calendar availability.
Excellent.
Yeah, so you'll be able to see if you have any questions, definitely just send me a message or you can send me an email,
Yeah.
admin@personalisedposing.com. If Instagram is not your jam, that's so fine. But yeah, like my inbox is open if you guys have any questions or queries or anything like that. I
Yeah.
hope that I can be on the podcast again
I was
sometime.
gonna
I
say,
always have
yeah,
so much to share.
we will
Yeah,
have
it's
you
been
back.
great.
It's not rehearsed, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Just so not.
Yeah, no rehearsing. But we did well. We did well. Thank you, Georgia. I'm going to send you a little love heart. Hold on. There we go. Yeah.
Love. Oh, hang on. We should take it. I need to take a little screenshot.
Quick,
Hang
quick,
on.
you've got 30 seconds,
Hang on.
Georgia. Pressure's on.
Do a little peace sign. Ready? Cheese. There we go. Oh, balloons. This
Thanks
is
for
a celebratory thing. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye.